Come on in, y'all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Come on in. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Wisdom Wednesday, y'all. I don't plan on being before you long. I just have a few nuggets to share with you on this evening. I hope you guys have had a blessed week thus far. It's midweek. Listen, this month is going by so fast, and I hope you guys have had a great day. And it's this is very ironic that today is 9/11, the 9/11, September the 11th, and this day signifies a lot of things for many. One of the things that 911 or 9/11 is memorable about is the attack that happened um, in New York at the Twin Towers. The families and individuals that lost their lives, the heroic individuals that assisted in the things that went on that particular day, that will always have an impact when we talk about 9/11. And when we think about, there was a lot of individuals that were born on this day. A lot of people are celebrating birthdays on this day. um, and when I thought about the things, what I was going to, the Lord had me to talk about on today, just to share some encouraging words. And um, as we know, and as some of you have heard over and over again, we are in a state of emergency. Okay, we're in a state of emergency. It is a 911 throughout our nation. It is an emergency, and so tonight I just want to touch on some things. Tonight's topic is beware. Okay? Tonight's topic is beware. And I'm not going to be before you long, but I do want to touch on some things because this hour we have to watch as well as pray. You know, some of you, and everybody is not spiritual. Different people on different levels. I'm not here to tell you what to do, how you should do it, when you should do it or whatever. But what I can tell you with wisdom, with experience, with knowledge and understanding, that let me tell you, it's important that you watch as well as pray. It's important that your eyes may be open, but you have to be able to see. You understand? You have to be able to see what is going on. You have to be able to hear with clarity of the things that are going on in this hour and what you need to do as an individual. You know, it's listen, many people are going through different things, and the things will only intensify. But you have to be in a place where, listen, yeah, things gonna come, the weapon's gonna form, it's gonna form, but they are not here to destroy me. I will not quit in this storm that I'm in. It is important that you be cognizant of the hour we are in and how important that it is for you to beware. Beware of your surroundings. Beware of what comes out of your mouth. Some of you are not, you don't pay attention to your surroundings. Um, you don't pay attention of who's around you. You don't pay attention to what is around you. Your surroundings are important. Beware of what comes out of your mouth. What are you saying in this hour that is contrary to what the word of the Lord is saying? What are you saying that is bringing death to many of the things that should have life to it? What are you saying that you don't even believe? Beware of what you're thinking. The Bible tells us, so as a man thinketh, so is he. What are you thinking? Sometimes you got to, that's why the Bible tells us we got to renew our minds daily. Every day when you wake up, you should be asking, Lord, please renew my mind. Give me a fresh, I don't want to focus on to think about the yesterdays. The yesterdays have already been, listen, have already been done. There's nothing I can do to bring back what happened on yesterday. The only thing that I can do is do better and bring and work on what's happening in the now and for my future. Do you understand? Some of you stay in your past too much. You reflect on your past too much. You need to be aware of what you were thinking about. You need to be aware of where you're going, where you're stepping foot in. Some places that you may go, God ain't tell you to go. He ain't tell you to move. You're doing it because somebody else said you're doing it because that's what you feel, which feelings can get us in a whole rut. God didn't tell you to do that. Your own feelings, your own lust of the flesh, your own desires told you to do that. And so if you're not beware going, you're not cognizant or watchful of where you're going in the wrong places. You're going in the wrong direction. You doing going in a place that he didn't tell you to do. You're trying to do something that somebody else is doing, but he didn't tell you to do, and you wondering why things seem so disastrous. See, let me tell you something. Sometimes as individuals, we can play victim. Sometimes you got to look at you. Sometimes you got to be beware of yourself. You got to correct yourself. You got to tell yourself, no, you need to sit down. You need to no, that's not right. That's not what I'm supposed to be saying. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Why am I going this way? Why am I thinking these things? Why is that coming out of my mouth? Sometimes you gotta correct yourself. You can't be good at correcting everybody and instructing everybody else, but when it comes to you, the stuff don't apply. You got to beware of going through the same old cycles and expecting a different result. You are insane. You may need to get an evaluation because ain't no way you doing the same thing, making the same decisions, getting the same results. Because 2 plus 2 gonna always equal 4. Baby, it ain't gonna give you 5. It's gonna give you 4. And so if you're getting the same results and you're going in the same direction and you think you're getting stuff gonna change, it's not. And it's nobody that you can blame but yourself. In this hour, we have to beware of a lot of things. If you want to do something, if you want to go somewhere different, you got to do something different. If you want to think differently, you got to think differently. If you want to speak differently, you got to speak differently. If you want to move differently, you got to move differently. It causes you to have to do a part. You can't be lackadaisical. You can't think somebody else gonna come do it for you. You can't always want somebody else to do. And that's another thing. Some of you need to stop being enablers. People count on you to do everything, but they can't do nothing for themselves because they always want you to do it. You got to hold people accountable as such as yourself. Why you always want to be the one to be needed? Because it makes you feel good on the inside. Baby, if that's the case, you need to sit down somewhere and you need to get healed from the inside. Because healing is important in order for you to get to your next in Him. Social media ain't going to get you there. Being on every set ain't going to get you there. Trying to be in this clique over here, be seen, that ain't going to get you there. Stuff is not, material things is not going to get you there. Some of you should be farther than where you are. And beware of the imposter syndrome. Because some of you want to be people and things that you're not going to ever be. And you're not going to never do because God didn't call you to be and He didn't call you to do. So until you find out your identity, then you're going to keep doing the same thing. Beware of being envious. Beware of being jealous. You don't know what people go through, what they had to go through, how to fill their shoes, but you covet and want with somebody. You got to beware of that. God is not going to bless you by coveting and idolizing what somebody else has or does. Beware of being a follower. Beware of not having a mind of your own. Sometimes people can find the scripture of everything, especially when they want to want to manipulate and want to control people and want people just to listen. When you came in this world, you was by yourself. When we leave this world, we're gonna be by ourselves. Some of you, listen, we have to have not only self-control, but you have to beware of anything that you may be meddling in, saying, doing that is not of God, that is not. Listen, there is people can say, well, I don't want to go to church because these people over here, I don't want to go do this, that, and the other. And that's all well and fine. But as long as you focus on these people over there and what they're doing, because they're human just like you are, they're not. Listen, believers, we're not perfect at all. We err, have error, some still errant, whatever the case may be, because they're human. And when the Bible tells you put no, listen, stop putting all your hope, putting y'all all your insurance, all your coins, all your this in a man and woman of God, just because you put them, you sit them on high. Because listen, that's why some of them are falling down, because they think they're higher than anybody else, and they're not. They're not. People flip the word, flip for a bit, their benefit, flip it to manipulate, flip it. Listen, some folks gonna be flipping in hell. And the ones that try to utilize, yeah, there is a such thing as church hurt. I've been there. There is a such thing as people in the ministry doing and saying things that that shouldn't be. All the things that may go on in the world. But listen, even the individuals that may go to church, remember at the end of the day, they are people too. No, they don't get a pass either. We don't get no pass just because we go to church and may have a title too, or some honoraries or whatever. That don't mean a thing. We still have to go through judgment. We still will reap what we sow. We still, and they can't nobody, don't nobody have a heaven and hell to put us in or you in except for him. That's why you got to know him for yourself, whatever you may call him. Because I'm not about to go back and forth in a battle. But what I am trying to tell you is it is a 911. It's time for you to beware false doctrine, beware fake people, beware the witches, the sorcerers, beware the individuals who got all these, some of these people with these titles. And they ain't, they gave them to themselves. They shouldn't have whatever, because some people love the titles because it's self-fulfilling, and that's all well. In this season, and this time with this 911, with this emergency and what's going on, we better know. We better know what we know. And we better read for ourselves. You better have a relationship for yourself. Because guess what? Beware when you think that every time when somebody die, that they going at. That's why I don't ever all this other stuff. The angels gonna be with the gonna be in heaven, flying, looking over me. Hey, I listen. How we know they looking over us? How we know we ain't walking on? How we know it ain't that? I ain't got no heaven there to put nobody in. But one thing I ain't gonna do. Some of y'all know death is real. Just like we are born, we gotta die. We all gonna die. But everybody ain't going to heaven. That's in the Bible, y'all. They not. And if you know, I mean, we just pray, Lord. I hope, you know, I hope Shay and see and Chloe and whoever else that may pass away, that you know that's a family member, a friend. I mean, it is what it is. Beware of having hate in your heart, because that shouldn't be. this election and stuff is going on. Let me tell you, red, blue, green, purple, whatever political party, whatever the case may be. Let me tell you something. It don't take a rocket science. That's why I sit and I look at some of the things when it comes to politics. Sometimes people just be talking, don't even know what they talking about. Because if you don't know what you're talking about, it sounds foolish, right? You get up, you try to talk and say things and say, well, this, that, too. You to each his own, or whatever you gonna do. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you a thing. Listen. One thing about it, the hate be real, but we got God. He is real. He is the author and the finisher. Whatever. Listen. There's been some things that's going on in this world, some things that people would have never thought they would see. My grandparents, my ancestors, some of my great would have never seen some of the things that I have seen. So while some of y'all may be fussing and fighting and over a color or a political party and this, that, and the other, listen, greed, lust, idolatry, hate, lies, different stuff will not enter. God is not. I don't care who you serve. Now, Satan like all that stuff. And I'm not even going to get into all of that, because that's a whole nother thing that I can talk about. But some listen. And it's not up to us to agree with everything, because we don't have a heaven and hell to put no one in. But I tell you one thing. And I tell you two things. God is real. He is real. Do you hear me? And just like things happen that we have never seen and would never think of, at the end of the day, we're in this world, but we shouldn't be of the world. We shouldn't act and do like the world does. Some of you run to mischief. You run to hate, run to do devious things. Nobody is perfect, no. But people are going away from here. Some innocent and some not so innocent. We all will have to face judgment when our name is called, when our number is pulled. And it's up to each individual to determine how that's call going to go. Beware. Beware. Let me go review a few things that's in terms like beware, for us to be careful, because that's another term for beware. And I will put my spirit in you and move you to follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. Be careful then how you live, not as the unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Listen, it says be very careful, but beware of how you live. Beware of how you live, y'all. Not as the unwise, because they make foolish decisions. They do foolish things, but making the most of every opportunity. Guess what? We have opportunities that most won't have a get. Why? Because they're dead and gone. Life is but a vapor, y'all. Here today, and we can be gone tomorrow. We'll be gone in the next 30 minutes. You got to beware. You got to be careful, making the most of every opportunity. Not opportunity to start mischief, not opportunity running and lying and hurting individuals and robbing and stealing and engaging in things that not making an opportunity for that. It says because the days are evil. Give careful thought. Beware of the thought of the past, of where your feet go. Be steadfast in all your ways. I told you, be careful where you're going. Be very careful. I'm trying to find, it's so many different ones. Preach the word. Be prepared in and out of season. Correct, rebuke, and encourage with great patience and careful instructions. Listen, it's no matter what the word is, it's in season, out of season, it's going to be the same. Some individuals who are maybe preaching, they're preaching the word out of season, preaching to fulfill their own lust. Stuff ain't got nothing to do with the Lord. It's by their own, there's only by their own lust. Be careful when you see your brother, your sister overtaken in a fault, overtaken in a sinful nature, engaging in the thing that you want to be helpful in. Be careful that when you go to help, because you may not be the strong individual that need to go, somebody else may need to go, so that you won't be overtaken in that thing. If you know you got an issue with certain things, if it's addiction, and you know you just not being delivered, and you got a friend you trying to help, you might not be the one that need to go there, because you know just a little smell, you gonna want to get you just a little smell, you gonna want to get that drink, you gonna want to go get take part in those drugs. You're going to want to do things that you know you're not supposed to be doing. So you go get someone else so you won't be overtaken. Beware of your surroundings. Beware of what you're engaging into. Beware of where your feet are going in this hour. Beware who you're listening to. Beware. Beware of your attachments, your connections, because some of you think, but those are connections that you're supposed to cut off, but you didn't, because familiarity, because it feels good, because of this, because of that, because it makes you feel like something. But if it's not God, you're going to go in the same circles. You're going to go through a whole lot of losses. You're going to go through things that you thought the Lord, listen, and it's going to show. It's going to show. It's not all about the fame. It's not all about the titles. It's not all about that. Your main concern should be trying to be trying to be better than you were on yesterday. Try to be the best person that you can be. And you're not going to be able to do that if you're not beware and being careful of some of the things that I said before. Beware of who you listening to in this hour, who you're allowing to touch you in this, lay hands on you in this hour. Demonic spirits are real. They're real, y'all. They're real. Ask the Lord for discernment, spiritual discernment in this hour, that you may know, that you may be able to do. Ask him. Because if you don't, if you do not have a relationship, take heed to the things he's telling you. If you don't beware, your life will depend on it. The suffering will depend on it. The attachments will depend on it. So tonight is an emergency. It's a you know, they call it a state of emergency when things tornado, you know, where there are alerts and different things go on. Listen, this is a spiritual emergency. Get yourself in position. Get yourself in place so that you can know how to prepare for what's coming. I hope that I've said something this evening. I've been on a little longer than I was expected to. Has said something this evening that could assist you, that could help you, that can put you in a position to do better than you did on yesterday, to make better choices for your now and for your future, to do some things that you know that you need to do, that you should have done, but you didn't. Be careful in this hour so you won't succumb to the snares of the enemy. God bless you. I pray that God cover you and your family. Thank you for joining Wisdom Wednesday. See me next week. Join me next week, Lord's willing, for Wisdom Wednesday. Have a great rest of